Hello and welcome to CLEA'S World. I am Clea and this is the second part of my video series about answering all of my viewers' questions. So today though, we are going to focus on manifestation. This entire video was prompted by a friend of mine, Mel. Hello, Mel, who asked a question about manifestation. And I went on from there to ask a bunch of related questions that I had been wondering about. And all of a sudden, this is where we came up. So before I start reading from the transcript of my qhht, in this case, BQH, it was a virtual hypnosis session with my friend Lorraine, I would like to ask you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. And please do give this video a thumbs up. That really helps me. And also do leave me a note just to let me know how you're doing, or if you have any questions that you would like answered, or just even to say hi. And that's perfectly fine. I love reading your comments. Okay, so let's start reading. So again, this is Lorraine asking me questions that I prepared in advance, and I am answering under hypnosis, which means the answers are coming from the 25th. All right, so again, these questions, unless I'm saying it's from Mel, these questions are from me, but eventually we do have Mel's question and it all comes together. So Lorraine, okay, what is the reason for our failure to manifest things even when we really focus and expect them? Why can't we manifest? Me. Why do we fail to manifest things? Because we believe at a 3D level, we might believe that we want something, but our essence might be much more interested in or might be taking us through a certain experience because it has a different goal for us. We will use an example so that we make this more concrete. Clea she believed she was in love with this person. And somehow over the course of 3 years, she barely saw this person, but she suffered because of this. She was in pain because of this, but she could not understand why stuff always came up between them so that they couldn't see each other. But she has since learned that they were not meant to see each other. His purpose in her life was simply to help her along with the awakening, which the pain, because again, pain is an easy way to awaken to things, not because it is the best way, but it is an easy way available here. The pain is what caused a lot of the awakening, caused her to do a lot of the work she needed to do. Now, she could have done that work without running into the situation, but she helped herself by having that situation, but not letting that situation take over her entire life. And that's why things were always coming up. And what they mean is the fact that I did not get together with this person means that I did not allow this low vibration or this person to take over my entire life. So really I was doing this work on my own, but spurred on by the fact that I was in pain because I couldn't see this person, because something always came up, one thing or the other, craziness. In fact, I wrote about this in my first book, Untamed and Free, because it's like unreal. It's like when we say that reality is stranger than fiction, that's literally what happened. If I tell you some of the reasons why we couldn't get together, you wouldn't believe it. And that's why I wrote a book about it. Okay. So stuff was always coming up. It was actually us holding her back from meeting with this person because her purpose is different. Now, this is the purpose chosen by her essence. So no 3D reality will come in the way of what the essence wants. So even though she thought at a 3D level that she wanted this experience, she really didn't at an essence level. So the next question that's coming up is, how do we know? Because if we knew that our essence didn't want what we think we want at a 3D level, then we wouldn't even spend all the effort trying to achieve that thing, right? Because we already know it wouldn't happen. However, there is a purpose to the longing. There is a purpose to the effort. This is all part of the game of the essence. So it is never a wasted effort. It is never wasted desire. It is never, all of it works exactly as the essence has envisioned. So could Clea have done the work without running into this person, falling in love, feeling like the universe was coming in between them and suffering? Yes, she could have. But that was the fastest and the easiest way for her to achieve certain knowledge. Could Clea have awoken without having the experience of the cancer? Yeah, she could have. There could have been other experiences that could have been more pleasant. But that was the fastest way to resolve not just one, but many issues that had accumulated in our life. So here's the point. Oftentimes, when we fail to manifest is because we're actually on the path of manifesting something that matters much more to us. But also there is a purpose, there is a point to us wanting to manifest certain things, because in our disappointment or in our discipline trying to achieve this thing, this is how we're walking along the path of the bigger objective we're trying to manifest. So we might not be clear what we need to manifest. We might not know that what we're actually trying to manifest behind the scenes, but our focusing on this one thing is actually part of the puzzle. So it is never wasted. And we say this because Clea has been wondering why we didn't want her to focus on the 3D and on finishing certain projects she had started that she spent a lot of time working on. And the reason is because she's asking, why didn't you just let me know that I wasn't supposed to, that these projects weren't going to work out? So at least I could have done nothing. I could have sat on my hands. I could have saved myself a lot of work, if I already know it's not going to work out. And while that's a fair question and a logical question, there were lessons that were learned and there were purposes that were achieved that she would have not have achieved or would have not been aware of had she not gone after these projects. So it was not wasted time. It was all part of her purpose, which was to awaken to how things actually work. And guys, just so you know, they're only letting me know now. I've been going through this for 3 years. For 3 years, I've been banging my head against the wall, doing things that for me are automatic. I've done a million things. I've done so much real estate. It's like I know when I do something, it's going to work. And the fact that stuff wasn't working was extremely frustrating to me. And in fact, I remember saying to my boyfriend, I said, you don't understand. I know something is going on. It is mathematically impossible that I wouldn't close, there's 10 deals. You normally know you're going to close 8 or 9 or even 10 in my case. I often close all of them, but there might be once in a while something crazy that happens. I had 10 deals fall apart all in a period of 1 month, of 3 months. And I'm like, this is odd. Even a brand new person in real estate, there is no chance that they will lose 10 deals out of 10. Something out of luck or out of whatever will close, even if you don't know what you're doing. So I was paying attention. I'm like, what is going on? And I did get upset. I said, well, clearly this is not supposed to happen because, again, mathematically impossible that it wouldn't happen otherwise. Something would have happened if it was meant to happen. But I also got upset in hindsight saying, I've wasted so much time. I could have spent time with my daughter. I could have spent time rubbing my belly on the couch. How about that? And so I was upset about this. Say, why don't you just let me know? I want to go with the flow. I want to listen to my assets. But if I don't know what my assets want, and I do answer this in the rest of this video, that's why I made this entire video just about manifestation, because they tell us so much. And I'm sure I'm not the only person to whom this has happened. So I really wanted to delve deep, and they really do explain it. At least for me, they kind of, I understood everything that's been going on behind the scenes. So let's continue. I want you guys to know why these things happen. Lorraine, thank you. How do we change the mind of our essences and cause the switch to happen if the essence is not on board? For example, you told us that we accept diseases or aging because we want to believe in the game. But for those of us who are not willing to go along with this part of the game anymore, how do we really discard this idea so that we no longer age? Me, laughing, they were laughing. So here's the problem, is that we think we want at a 3D level, is that what we think we want at a 3D level is not really, it would deprive us of an experience that we want much more at the essence level. So could our essence change its mind and say, I don't want to be part of this reality anymore. I don't want to age or whatnot. Yes, but our essences don't really want to do that here. Our essences already make their own choice in the sense of, I want to age this way. I want to look like I'm 50 when I'm 70 years old. Somebody else wants to look like they're 70 when they're 40 years old. So we're already changing. We're already making our own choices. It's not a one size fits all. But at the same time, all of us, to one extent or the other, do want to be, when we are here, we do want this to feel real. So what we might think from a 3D perspective, oh, I want to look 20 years old my entire life. It would be horrible if you were the only person who looked 20 here. Not only they will probably take you in, study you, you will probably become a guinea pig, and they were laughing here. Who knows? The essence is not interested in that. So can you change the mind of the essence? Yes, absolutely. The essence changes its mind at any time. Can and will do it. But the problem, the real gist of this question you're asking is, if I, as a 3D person, as Clea, want to stop aging, for example, how can I make my essence understand that this is the most important thing for me to do? I don't want any lines on my face. The essence doesn't care about the stuff. This is nothing. This is a shell. This is not important to the essence to look 20 years old. The essence could look like air. The essence could look like light. The essence could look like the person is 20 years old for thousands of years. That's not what the essence is interested in. What does this experience do for us that we have no lines on our face? Nothing. It does nothing from the essence's perspective. So while the essence can change its mind, we're not going to be able to convince the essence from a 3D perspective. This is how it should be done. It should be done. I should be rich because in 3D it's so much easier to be rich. If the essence is not interested in that, it's not going to happen. We're not going to be able to change its mind. The question, the better question would be, how can we, from a 3D perspective, understand, realize, and accept what the essence is trying to experience? Because perhaps, and we used this example before, perhaps Clea would like to be a multimillionaire, a gazillionaire, whatever it is. But if this were the case, perhaps she would stop making videos. She would stop writing books. Maybe she would stop expressing herself. And this is not what her essence wants. Her essence came here to spread a message. So you see, the 3D experience will become an obstacle in that sense. So the better question is for Clea to understand, what is it that really my essence wants to experience? And Clea is well aware. She's always known her job here is to spread information, to spread messages. This is why she's always wanted to be an author. And so once you realize that that is your ultimate purpose, everything you set up, everything you wish for, everything that you help manifest is around that. So that it actually helps. That purpose becomes true. So maybe the goal is not to be a gazillionaire. Maybe the goal is just simply to be financially independent so that you can write more books. You can spread more messages. You see, the second we align ourselves with our essence's true purposes, our life does become easier. It doesn't have to be exactly the way we envision it from a 3D perspective, because there are many different ways of making something happen. All right, Lorraine, thank you. We may believe that we're discarding an idea consciously, but our essence might choose to hold on to this idea for its own experience, making all our efforts vain. It's not easy to take our limited 3D brains and translate everything immediately. We often do the work and believe we've solved an issue, only for the issue to persist. Can you help us understand and solve this issue? B. Yeah. We've talked about this before with you, Lorraine, where you expect things to look a certain way. Not just you. We're not picking on you. This is true of everybody, but we wish to clarify our thought, and that's why we like to use examples. Things don't have to look the way we think they have to look for them to be helping us achieve the purpose. So many times we might think that we have discarded an idea, but we haven't really, because we haven't really understood what the idea was meant for us to achieve. For example, we talked about this, the fact that you have had breathing problems, and they're very much a problem for you. We completely understand this, but you did not take into account that these were actually a solution for other issues you were dealing with. Your body was actually helping you. Now, can you achieve that help? Can you achieve that situation in other ways? Yes. And the moment that you realize, in this case, you've been told, and you had your own guidance about this as well, you can make that switch because you now know that's my goal and I can achieve it in other ways. I don't have to have a lack of oxygen, and that is absolutely doable. But until you in the 3D understand and connect with the real purpose behind things, you will not be able to change them, for the simple reason that you really don't know why, the purpose of what is happening. And if you don't know the purpose, you are not actively finding an alternative that would allow you to achieve your purpose. Your body was trying to protect you. The solution would have been to tell your body, hey, I've got this, I'm good. But you didn't know. Instead, you were, and again, we're not picking on you. This is quite normal in 3D. We don't see what's behind the scenes, but meanwhile, you're focusing on the symptoms. You're not focusing on the reason why the symptom is there and trying to find different solutions to it, which is not to stop the asthma willy-nilly, but it is to say, I know what I'm doing. I am following my guidance. I'm very grateful, but I don't need this anymore because I know you were trying to slow my re-entry into this planet, but I've done this so many times now that I don't need the slow entry anymore. I'm a master. I can do this in my sleep, but you do this in your sleep, and they were laughing. You do it while you're awake, washing the dishes. We're using this as an example. This happens. Clea has many examples she could use. Everybody has many examples. The point is, when things don't manifest, is because we are trying to manifest something that defeats the purpose without finding a viable alternative solution that will achieve the purpose for the essence. And guys, this is hilarious because I don't know if you can tell, my right lid is a little bit swollen because I tend to have styes in my eyes, rarely, but they've happened over time. And for the first time, I realized when this popped up this morning, I realized, look at what I'm doing. What am I doing? Normally I would be like, oh my goodness, what happened? Is it like, maybe maybe one of my eyelashes got infected, whatever it could be, right? Whatever the reasons for styes are, and normally they get resolved. Well, the first time I had it, it lasted for weeks. So I want to talk about this because it's important. This is what happens when you have the breakthrough, you have the knowledge. Here's what's happening. So I did get this dye, and the first thing I asked is, why am I getting this dye? I'm like, I know this is not real. Why are we doing this? And I realized, one, I saw my dad get dyes when I was growing up. He only had it one or two times that I can remember, and I still remember it. In my essence might have thought, oh, look at that. That looks so real. That looks like a great way to remind myself I'm in 3D, that this game is real. Okay. It's an easy way. It's not particularly painful. It's not particularly annoying. It's just whatever, right? It could be like a cold sore. Okay. And in fact, we do talk about cold sores later on with a question from EDC. At any rate, and so right away understood what I'm trying to do. And what am I trying to do? Because I've been getting all this information. So I've been living up here, okay, very intently for the past many months now. My body, my essence still wanted to experience being here. And because I'm fighting and saying, well, we're going off, so I don't have anything else to experience here. I don't really care. It's not true. I do want, my essence still wants to experience the 3D while we're here. So guess what? This is reminding me, oh, this body is real, whatever real means, really. But this body is real. I'm still here. It's still, hey, baby. My cat is here to remind me we're still in 3D. And so this is what it's doing. So here's what I did, because again, knowledge is power. I said, okay, my essence wants to believe this is real. okay, we're going to pretend this is real. This is a real sky. It's happening. It's what it is. It's due to something outside of my essence wanting to manifest it, to experience this. So I learned when this happened, I think it was a year or 2 years ago, that if I use colloidal silver, it will go away in no time. Again, the first time I had it lasted a week. So when somebody told me about colloidal silver, I tried it and basically went away like a couple of days, okay, which was awesome. So I said, okay, you don't just want to go away. You want me, because again, the essence doesn't want to be ignored. The point is we do, in this case, the purpose is to think that this is real. So I'm like, okay, you want to think it's real? I think it's real that colloidal silver takes it away in 2 days. So I'm going to do that, and guaranteed in the next day or two, this is going to be gone. That's the point that they're trying to make, is figure out what your essence wants and give it an alternative that is acceptable for you at the 3D level, so that you both, as in pretending that we're separate from our multidimensional self, we are both achieving what we want. The essence is pleased. It's like, oh, look, we believe this is real. Even colloidal silver, it's real. It takes care of stuff. And I, from a 3D perspective, am not bothered with a sky for weeks, okay? So I wanted to bring you this example because it's so funny. Timing, there is no time. The fact that this would happen today while I'm recording this video, I thought was pretty hilarious. All right, Lorraine, thank you. Much of this I have known. However, I didn't apply it in the way you just described. It's very helpful. Thank you. Okay. I think you may have answered this, but I'm going to read this. And if you're already answered, just please indicate. Basically, how can we know what our essence has chosen to experience so we don't stress ourselves out trying to manifest the opposite in 3D, since we have no chance of succeeding? Me. Correct. The key to this is to understand the reason why we want something, the reason why our essence might want something different, and how can we bridge that gap if we truly want to change our 3D circumstances. We can't just arm twist the essence into doing the opposite of what it wants to do. We have to understand what our essence really is trying to get at, and we might be able to offer it in a different way where everybody's happy, right? And they were laughing here. They were laughing at the fact that say everybody's happy, as if there were multiple, because in 3D, we think we're separate. So it's like we're multiple people. There's me and my higher self. If we think of ourselves as being separate from the essence achieves its purpose, and we have a 3D reality that's a little bit more pleasant for us. Lorraine, thank you. On the other hand, sometimes our essence protects us from things that are not good for us that we intellectually want, like Clea being protected from dating Nick. This is the name that I give to that guy in the book, because it's a real name, but I call him Nick, because he was too low vibration and would have kept her from doing her work, even though she really wanted to date him. How do we know something is not going according to plan because it's not good for us? Me. When you, and this is an easy one, when you hit your head against the wall a few times, that should give you a very clear message that what you're trying to achieve is not the way. Clea has this idea that if she pushes a wall long enough, the wall will move. It's true. And that has been her experience many times, but that's because she was going after something that her essence was on board with. She's had different experiences in the past 3 years where things have not gone according to plan. She doesn't even know how to wrap her mind around this. This has never happened before. And this is because she did not realize that it was time. Her essence was working on something else. And these things were going to be a waste of time. And therefore, if you hit your head long enough, Clea is particularly stubborn, but we know that there are many like her, and they were laughing. And yes, I am very stubborn. You should stop and ask yourself, is this right? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And try to figure out what is actually going on. The second you align with what your essence wants, which doesn't mean you stop wanting the situation to be different in 3D, but it means that you can perhaps find a better alternative that still accomplishes the purpose of the essence. But you must know what the purpose is. For Clea, the purpose was to focus on other things in her life, like writing books, for example. But she wasn't going to do this if she kept focusing on real estate, for example. So we had to stop that. And that's what it is. You will know by your quote unquote failures that you're not going in the right direction. And the question that I know is in Clea's mind, and probably many, is, yeah, but I mean, you don't just want to give up the first time you fail at something. You don't have to. Depending on your personality, some people give up right away. Some people have to try 10 times, but eventually something will come to your mind to make you wonder, am I doing the right thing? And when you have that thought, sit and think about it and think, what is it really that I'm trying to achieve? Because here's the thing, we all know what we came here to do. Clea knew she was supposed to spread messages. Why was she using so much of her time in other endeavors? She's been postponing things for a very long time. So eventually, depending on your degree of tolerance for failure, you will get to a point where you will realize this is not meant to be. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with giving up something that you think you wanted, but you no longer want. So that's okay. So the point is, try to understand, to ask yourself, what is it that you're really after? And guys, I am so stubborn. I don't believe in failure. I've never believed in failure. I always say that failure means you give up. Basically, if you finish and you get to the point you wanted to get to, then really there was no failure. It was just obstacles that you bypassed. And so that's how stubborn I am. And even I eventually had to figure out and understand that this is odd. This is very odd. And eventually gave up. I gave up. I walked away from a lot of these situations. So there is hope. But again, the reason I want to say this is because, as they mentioned, there is purpose in pushing, even when things are not supposed to happen, in pushing and understanding. That helped me understand so many things that I didn't think were possible. I was convinced that if I wanted something, it would happen. Okay, because that's always been my experience. And for me to finally realize that unless my essence wants something, it's not going to happen, it was tough. I thought you just do what you have to do. You figure out 20 ways to do something. If the first 19 don't work, you use the 20th. And I know that many people out there are like me. So that's why I really thought it was important for me to put out this information. Lorraine, thank you. Okay, and here we get to Mel's question. So Mel's question. Is the key to manifestation just feeling in advance the way you will feel when you get the thing you desire to manifest? Or is there something more to this? And she is referring to some of the guidance that we get from people that specialize in the law of attraction. They tell you that you have to feel as if you already have the thing that you want, because if you focus on the wanting, then really you are just manifesting the want, so the lack of. So she's asking, so is the secret here to just really feel like you already have it? Me. Yeah, there is a lot more. Basically, that's not really real. I mean, there's a whole industry around the law of manifestation, law of attraction, or whatever it is. Some of it are valid principles too, but no, it's not just about feeling. The fact is, if you're aligned with what your essence wants, you don't have to do any of that. It will just happen. Clea was not aware of the supposed rules for how to manifest things. But everything she wanted to manifest in her life before, it's gone swimmingly well, except for certain things that would have kept her from her longer term purpose. And this is true of everybody. If you are meant to manifest something that brings you closer to your purpose, it will be easy. You don't even have to do anything. Mel specifically has just sold her house so quickly. All she feels like she did all these things to make it happen. But truthfully, it was supposed to happen for her. She was supposed to learn a lesson. So she didn't, even if she had done none of the things she's done, it would have happened, because manifestation for us is immediate when the essence means for it to happen. You don't have to think about it. How did cancer form for Clea? The essence made it happen. Clea was not even aware. Things happen no matter what when your essence desires it. So again, the better question is not how do I do these things so I can force the essence, We know that's not what Mel means, that she wants to force herself. But really, this is what's going on. We are trying to find ways to shortcut, to control the outcome. The outcome will happen very, very easily if it is meant to happen, because it aligns with the purpose of the essence. If it does not align, and it actually could hold back the essence from achieving its purpose, it will not happen. You can feel into it all day long. It will not happen, because the essence does not want something to happen. And therefore, for example, say that somebody said, I really want to go do a year abroad. If the essence does not want that experience, doesn't matter how many times they apply, where they apply to, this will not happen. So it's not a matter of them feeling bad saying, I'm not put the law of manifestation to good use. And they were laughing when they said that. Or I'm not feeling enough. I don't feel like I'm there. I'm doing something wrong. We like to beat ourselves up, but it's not, we're always doing what we're supposed to be doing, because our essence knows what's supposed to happen. So again, the better question is, before you even start desiring something, ask yourself, connect with your essence, because it's you. And they were laughing again here. And connect and find out, is that what I'm supposed to do? Is that what I really want? And a lot of people, we guarantee it, if they sit down and ask themselves, is that what they really want? Am I having fun? Is this what my essence wants to experience? They'll find out that's not it at all. A lot of us think that we have to, for example, have a ton of money to be happy. But a lot of us have already learned money is not, it's not the vehicle. It's not the way to happiness, is it? And that's not what we really want. What we want is freedom. We want the freedom to do things that are fun and they give us pleasure. It's not money. It's just that we live in a 3D reality where we think money solves everything, but it doesn't. So that's the example. We want to use this example to show that it's not that you're failing and manifesting, or that there is a right or wrong way to manifest. There is no wrong way to manifest if something is meant to happen. You make stuff happen around you all the time. Your reality is a manifestation of you. That's why everybody's reality is different. So you're a great manifester. Whatever you think you're manifesting powers, and they were laughing, you're a manifesting machine. So you can do whatever you want. You can feel yourself however you want, but it's either going to happen if it's meant to, or it's not going to happen if your essence doesn't want it to happen that way. However, again, we want to remind you, doesn't mean that a thing cannot happen if the essence doesn't want it to. It just means that you have to recalibrate yourself. You have to re-envision how you can change your reality and still achieve the purpose of the essence. So maybe your goal is not to have $1 billion. Maybe your goal is just to have enough income every month, so where you can focus on writing books as opposed to doing real estate deals, to use Clea's life as an example. So again, it's just a matter, you need to realize what the purpose is. And then from there, you can recalibrate, and you will find that it's very easy to achieve the second manifestation, because it is bringing you in the direction of what you're meant to do. So I hope this sheds light on this entire manifestation process. I know it was very much a big question in my mind, and obviously Mel's mind as well. And so hopefully that helps many of you also understand a little bit of background if you've experienced frustration like I have. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.